The Story of the Dragon and the Swan, a story told through piano and prose by Christian Roovers, narrated by Caitlin and Christian Roovers. The Trickster. The dragon and the swan entered the world beyond the veil, where colors whirled and lightning cracked. It was terrific and beautiful, dreamlike and surreal. It was unlike anything they could have ever imagined. The animals were nearly unrecognizable, and many of the plants shifted shapes. With each step they took, they saw spring buds unravel and drip with tiny drops of dew. Each was in rhythm with the next. The Trickster, a formidable character, ruled this terribly wonderful place. He loved nothing more than to torment his guests with tricks, grave, awful, and terrible tricks. Enchanted by the beauty of this world, the dragon and the swan danced about, taking in every last detail. It was perfect. Out of thin air, the trickster appeared between them and pushed them apart. His eyes darted back and forth.
Ha ha ha! I see you have come to the world beyond the veil,
he said.
What makes you think you deserve my prize?
Like a flash of light, the trickster disappeared and reappeared, swooping in and coming face to face with the dragon. The trickster snarled through a grin of stained and jagged teeth. His voice deepened as he leaned in closer to the dragon's face.
I asked, what makes you think you deserve my prize?
The dragon grew angry, stomped his feet, and puffed a cloud of smoke through his widened nostrils. The swan stepped forward and spoke. The spirit led us here. We followed her light to the table in the woods.
Ah,
replied the trickster, turning his head slowly.
Are you sure it's not for your darkness you were brought here?
He quickly disappeared. Suddenly, where the trickster had stood, thick walls of stone rose up to the sky. The confines soared hundreds of feet upward. Fear overcame the dragon and the swan, and they could no longer see nor hear one another. The trickster returned.
What makes you think you can pass my test?
He had played this trick many times before, and nobody, even after the noblest attempts, succeeded. The trickster would steal their money or make them his servants. He continued,
Pass my test and I will award you an unearthly concoction of my own making. A potion so powerful it will allow its possessor to realize vast abilities within. I'm talking about unlimited potential.
He snarled.
Pass the test and you will receive the elixir conjunctio oppositorum, he said
as a wicked smile wound tightly across his face.
If you fail, you will die.
On the swan's side of the wall, the trickster laid 4 sickly servants. He said to the swan,
Use your powers to heal these servants, or the dragon will suffer a ghastly fate. And all that could have been in the world of black and white will be lost. Or betray your scaly friend and return home with the power of flight restored.
His face beamed with arrogance. The swan, in order to shield herself from the trickster's gaze, curled her slender neck and lowered her eyes. The trickster vanished through the wall and laid down 8 piles of lead. He snickered in the dragon's ear. Transform these piles of lead into gold,
or the swan will suffer a ghastly fate, and all that could have been in the world of black and white will be lost. Or,
he bargained,
betray your feathered friend and return home with the power of dynamic magnetism. Behold inconceivable power.
The dragon grew angry and flapped his horned wings. His chest heaved and he drew a large breath that wreathed the trickster in flames. The trickster disappeared again unscathed. With determination, the dragon dug his claws into the soil beneath him. He breathed heavily and surged the hottest, most intense flame he had ever blasted. The heat melted the lead into pools, but they did not shimmer like gold. Next, the swan folded her wings above the head of each of the dying servants. Moon Magic's healing rays emitted from her feathers, but she was unable to heal the servants. The trickster returned, and seeing them struggle, gruffed a smoky laugh. He jumped up on the wall and called down to the dragon and the swan.
Let me give you a key.
His voice echoed. The trickster removed a ring from his finger and dropped it. It clinked and clanked its way to them, one worn-out brick at a time. At once, a strange feeling grew in them. The ring was familiar to them, but why? What was it about the shimmer of the amethyst's violet flame? Why did the glittering gold irk them? It was all too familiar, painfully so. The trickster peered down at them and laughed hysterically.
This world beyond the veil is surreal. But please sweeten the deal. There must be something more.
He mocked. The trickster's rewards grew more intriguing to the dragon and the swan. Night fell in the world beyond the veil. The swirling colors in the sky slowly churned and all became dark.